Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Elliott from Dirk.com, and today's tutorial was going to be showing you how to make this entire kind of car racing animation, but as with most of my tutorials, things were going a little slower than I intended, and I realized that making the car itself was taking about 30 minutes, so even though I know you all don't mind long tutorials, I figured let's just go ahead and release this part first, give everyone a chance to make their car, and then we can kind of all follow along together with the next part, which I'll release in about a week, and I'll walk through how to make this entire kind of racing animation. If you are watching this in the future and both tutorials are already out, good for you, but that probably means you aren't subscribed, so that's no fun. Go ahead, like, subscribe. Let's go ahead and make that car, and then I'll look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial where we'll go through how to make this entire animation. Thanks for watching. See you there. Alrighty, so let's see what we can do about making that little car. I'm going to, I've got pretty much a basic Blender scene set up here. As you can see, I'm going to leave the cube for once, and I'm going to delete the lamp here and the camera. Just press X to delete those. If you accidentally deleted the cube out of habit, you can of course press Shift A and add back in a cube. Now we have two. I don't want that. This tutorial is moving very slowly. I'm going to move the tutorial faster. I'm going to move the cube up on the Z-axis. That's just pressing G and Z, and then kind of holding Control to snap so that it's sitting nicely on our ground plane there. But hopefully you already know those hotkeys. If you don't, this tutorial could go a little slow. Of course, feel free to check down here. You can see my my screencast keys are turned on, so you can see how many times I'm wheeling up, how many times I'm wheeling down, how many buttons I press. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So I have pressed Tab to go into edit mode. Another very basic hotkey there. I'm going to scale this out on the Y-axis, S and Y, and I'm just going to kind of start building that car shape. And so I'm going to create a loop cut here. I'm pressing Control R, and then you can scroll kind of up and down to add more. I'm just going to add 2 there, and I'll just let that be, and then S and Y just to kind of move those apart a little bit. Now I've done this a few times, of course, so kind of know about the direction I'm going here, but this may take you longer than me. Hopefully it does, because you want your car to look nice and pretty, and I just want to teach you how to kind of make a car. So I'm just doing some basic stuff here, kind of scaling things in, moving things around. I'm just trying to get the shape to something I like. You know, of course you don't have to do a car. Maybe you followed my tutorial with the boat, and you just you super love your boat model, and you want to make the boat go on a track. I guess that'd be kind of weird, but I'm not going to stop you from doing it. So this is looking, it's a bit boxy as we had kind of expected, but let's see, we can press Control R, just add a big fat edge loop around the outside there, S and Y, just kind of bring that out. Oh yeah, it's coming together now. We got a nice little curved back window. It's looking a little bit like a truck. You could, of course, make a truck if you want. But I'm going for kind of like a hot rod, Hot Wheels style sort of thing. You don't have to do that. I already told you that. You already knew that. Not like in the boot here for you British folk. Just selecting all these faces, and is that what I just did? Did I just redo what I undid? No. That's a little bit different. Okay, so that's cool. And by the way, you might notice I'm switching between vertex, edge, and face select with 1, 2, and 3 along the top of my keyboard. That's really convenient, especially when you're doing something just like this, to kind of move things around a little easier. So in edge select mode there, just got to kind of move those back. Maybe we want to pull this out a little more. Again, this is really, it's all completely stylistic, and you don't even have, maybe you just skip this part. Maybe you're not listening to me right now. Maybe you're already like 30 minutes into the tutorial, which, hey, maybe we can get this tutorial done in less than an hour. Doubt it. No, but seriously, I guess you can look and see kind of how long it actually is, but I'm just getting started, and I have no idea how long this tutorial is going to be. So I'm liking the way that looks. I think next thing I want to do is maybe add kind of a grill shape here. So I'm going to press I, and by the way, you might be wondering, oh, Derek, why don't you use a mirror modifier? So that is convenient, and we probably will use one eventually, definitely for the wheels. But when you're doing something like an inset here, it's a little easier when you don't have a mirror modifier on. And this shape is just, it's so simple right now that I'm not too worried about just kind of having to do things on both sides. So I want to slide these up a little bit, so I've got a little bit of a sort of a bumper. So I can press G twice. That's just G and G. That is what G twice means. And just kind of drag that up a little bit. That'll slide it along the edge. You know, if you had pressed G and Z, it's gonna, you know, get you a funky angle, which I'm kind of liking that shape. But anyways, let's just press G twice, move that up. Okay, that looks good. And then what I want to do is just select these faces and then press E to extrude it in. It's gonna extrude it along the normal, which is a little bit of a funky angle. So eventually that would pass through, and I don't want that, so I'm just gonna right click. That extrude command still happened though, so I need to press G and Y just so I can move those straight back. I think something like that's going to look pretty good. Just, you know, kind of a nice little bit of a, it's just a small detail. This is really, like I said, or maybe I didn't say, just, you know, this is a pretty small element of the animation. We probably won't get any closer than like, you know, that maybe. So we don't need to do a whole lot there. And you'll see in a second that I'm not even going to model the wheel wells. If all you came to this tutorial for was how to model wheel wells, and I should have done that little inset earlier. Getting myself into a little pickle here. Let's go ahead and select these two. Just trying to give the whole car a little bit of a taper. SX. Just kind of bring that in a little bit. Okay, I like that. So that's looking pretty cool. Pretty cool. Digging it. Looking a little bit like a car. Does that look like a car? I feel like if someone saw that, they'd be like, "Oh, it looks kind of like a car." If you don't think it looks like a car, then go work on your own car. Make it look like a car. So I'm just pressing I with both those faces selected to inset, and then I'm going to press E. And in this case, I will let it go along the normal, just down a little bit. Again, very small detail. That'll end up being like a window there. Let's do the same thing over here, but like most cars, or at least the cars I looked at, there's a kind of a break right here. So I'm going to kind of put that about like that. Just again, edge loop. And now I kind of need to do this. This would be where a mirror modifier is a little bit helpful, but I just need to, actually, you know what I can do? Okay, so if you select them together, it will inset it as one, but if you select it individually, it will just do that one. So let's go ahead and do the back one there. So that I will do I to inset. Looking good. These don't have to be exact again. This is just it's not a car modeling tutorial, okay? It probably looks like it so far, but it's not. So now I can just select these at the same time. Press I. And just get that kind of lined up with the other one. And let's do the same thing here. So I to inset. And then I wish I could extrude these all at the same time, but I like the fact that when you press E to extrude, it'll go along the normal. And if you do it with two of them at the same time on opposite sides, I think it's gonna go kind of at some weird angle. So we could actually, since these are on the same normal, we could do those together. So let's go ahead and press E. Oh gosh, just screw me. If you're trying to catch my hotkeys, you're probably like, that guy scrolls up and down on his mouse wheel so much, can't see anything. I should do the control. If you hold control and you press down in the middle of the mouse wheel, you can just go in and out. Look how calm it is down there in the bottom left, as opposed to hey Derek, you can't see the model. Okay, so now I don't even know if I'm in the middle of extrude or not. Getting so sidetracked. E to extrude. Bring that in a little bit. Give ourselves a nice viewership out into this cold, dark, quarantined world. Which hopefully you're watching this in the future and that's all over. But if it's not, remember us folk from 2020 who dealt with such disaster. Okay, so what are some more details we could add here? I think I want to add maybe like a bumper in the back. Let's just press Shift D. Extrude this up. And I'll just press Control Plus to kind of select that whole thing. Then let's just bring that out a little bit. Boom, bumperified. Maybe we like, you know what? It'd probably be cool if this was kind of coming out a little bit. SX. Ta-da! It's beautiful. We got a bumper. Let's add a little bit of a kind of a grill detail. Again, you don't have to do all this stuff. I'm just gonna kind of move that in. And then let's go on our side view here. That's pressing 1, 7, or 3 on your number pad. Or you can use these little buttons up here. If you're on a laptop, oh gosh, I lost my view. Which if you lose your view, if you get crazy, you can press period on your keyboard. And I don't know where else you'd press period. Maybe you put the period button on the floor. It's on my keyboard though. You press period and you will you will frame the selection, which in my case, I use that so much that I actually bound it to the one of the very few buttons on my mouse, which you will see when I press it. is button 4 mouse. So if you can't find button 4 mouse, it's because you might not have that set up. Press period on your number pad. That'll do it for you. So back with what I was trying to do. Let's go into side view here. I'm just going to kind of move this up. And then again, I can press Control plus just to grow that selection. And I can press that infinitely. And since it's just that one object, this is just kind of a quick way to select the rest of it. So I'm going to press Shift D, just kind of move that up a little bit. And then I can repeat that action, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, and kind of fill out the rest of our little grill there. Looking good. And so that we can take full advantage of Blender 2.8's beautifulness. Let's turn on cavity. We can even turn on shadow. Let's not turn on shadow. That's looking nice. So now we can see those edges nice and crispy clean. Looking good. Okay. So what else? What else do we want to do? Let's add a freaking spoiler. Because, yeah. Alright, I think I have a cool idea of how to do this. Let's duplicate this back. Move it up. S, Y. Backwards. Direction, motion, angle. Move this over. How intense do we want this angle to be? How fast are we going to be going? We're going to be going pretty fast. Alright, that looks good. Now, now we got to connect it. Ugh, gosh, okay. Let's press Control R to give ourselves an edge loop. I could move this over, but then I'd have to get it even on the other side. So I'm just going to let it go in the middle there. Again, could be using a mirror modifier here. Now I want these to, instead of having one there, I want to have kind of two so I can stroke it down. So I'm going to do a Control B to bevel that. That's Control B to bevel that. That should be like a song lyric or something. Control B to bevel that. Select those faces, ignore my bad song ideas. Derek, what are you doing? Just teach us how to use Blender. Move that in. This is all super stylistic. I'm gonna use my Control plus, which if you deselected something, you can also just press L with your mouse hovering over it. It'll select that mesh island. I'm thinking maybe I don't need to go quite that fast. Let's kind of tame that back a little bit. All right, that's looking dope. Probably not gonna be able to see much out that back window with that intense spoiler. All right, this is the type of stuff that gets me in trouble with the tutorials taking forever, but I just kind of had this idea. Let's make it even cooler. I don't know if you guys ever played Need for Speed. Yeah, I had some sick spoilers. Okay, that's a little bit ugly, but I don't want to mess with it anymore, so let's just leave it at that. Now this hood, I should have done this before I did the windows. Do the windows like last, because if you end up making changes like this, you gotta select more things. I could have just selected one edge, and now I gotta select all this stuff. But it's all coming together to make our cool little hot rod. I am liking the way that looks. Last thing I want to do maybe is add some kind of like headlights. You could do this. Actually, this I might do with a mirror modifier. Just so that they're even, and then I'll join it back all into one object. I really just want this to be one object in the end, because it's just, yeah, it's just, I don't want it to be multiple objects. So what will I do? I'll go into edit mode. I want to make sure those, now my grill's all screwed up. That's all right. We'll leave it. Should we leave it? Okay, we'll leave it. You should fix it though. So I want to put my headlight right about there. So I'm just going to select that vertex, Shift S, snap my cursor to selected, tab out of edit mode, Shift A, and I'm going to add in a circle, mesh circle, which I could use as cylinder, but for some reason I don't like that. It's like, it's doing too much for me. Like, Blender, save some work for me. So I have to add a circle and extrude it. So anyways, 32 vertices sounds like too many because this whole thing is a freaking box. So 32, it's probably a little bit too round. Let's bump that down to something like a 24, maybe even like 18. Ooh, Derek, running low on vertexes there. Vertices, classic conundrum, vertex, vertice. All right, so I'm adding that there. I want it to be on the other side too, though. So I need to add a mirror modifier, which is not going to work very well, as you'll see. So I want it to mirror across the y-axis. But a mirror modifier works based on the origin. So you'll see that is... My example didn't work. Anyways, the origin needs to be in the middle. So let's press Shift... Actually, this... Yeah, okay, so that origin is in the middle. Shift S, cursor to selected. And then I'm going to set this origin. Set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, so it was working. I just did something wrong. Maybe it is the x-axis. Okay. Okay, so now we got it on both sides. So let's make our little headlights. I'm gonna kind of move this in here, and then let's just kind of extrude this out on the y-axis, E and Y. Maybe scale that up a tad. We're gonna be making some kind of cartoonish looking headlights here. Scale that in. Maybe bring that back just a little tad. Have to fill it in. And let's go wild. We're going hyper duper camera wild over here. You guys watch the phone tutorial? You'll get that reference, the hyper duper reference. Ha ha ha. Derek, you're so funny. Oh my god. Okay. Cool headlights. What about tail lights? Let's make some tail lights. Shift D, duplicate. Pop that guy in the back. Not gonna need much tail lights though, because we aren't slowing down. We're going fast. We're cruising. Well, we will be cruising. This tutorial is probably not cruising. I know you guys don't mind if my tutorials are long, but I'm really self-conscious about it. It's like, Derek, just explain yourself faster. There's always that one guy in the comments that's like, this could have been a 10-minute tutorial. But then there's hundreds of you praising me for leaving nothing behind, all the details. Okay, I'm liking the way that looks. It's a floating car, which is pretty dope, but I will add wheels to it. So I'm actually going to duplicate this object. Actually, we can use a lot of that because it's circles. So let's duplicate this. And then I'm going to go into right click and then go into edit mode on that one. I'm going to delete everything except this. No, you know what? I'm going to delete absolutely everything. The reason I did use that object though is because it already has a mirror modifier on it. So I'm going to press Shift A, add a circle. I would have duplicated from this ring around the headlight, but I think for the circle I want a little bit more vertices. Dang it, can never get it right. 32. We'll go back to our default. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So we're going to put that there. And if you had clipping on, you would not be able to pull these apart. They'd be stuck. They'd be clipped together. Oh, maybe that's where that comes from. Anyways, let's move this out to, come on, GX, out to there. And we can turn on, let's move it GY. We can turn on this, the Y thing. That's looking good. So now we've got crazy big wheels. That's too big. Let's scale these down a little bit. Looks like we're going to need to pull our whole car down. I think something like that's good. I'm going to press F to fill it in. And then let's move it out just a little bit, GX. And then I'm going to press E to extrude. Bring that in just a little bit. Like, wheel dimensions. Oh, and by the way, another thing you guys like to get on me about is dimensions. Like, oh, Derek, the car's, how big is this car? This car is 7 meters long. I don't know how big that is. I'm an American. I'm sorry. 7 meters. What's that, like 21 feet? Hey, that's not too far off. The dimensions are decent. I'm pressing I there to inset. Let's just bring that in. Press I to inset again. Bring that out. Just making our little wheel there. Looking pretty sweet. I'm liking it. It's a little bit too far back, that wheel. So let's move all of it in just a little bit. I liked the front wheel position. And then let's move this car back a little bit. You can see I'm doing these changes in edit mode. We're gonna have to move the headlights too. And the taillights. I'm doing this in edit mode so that my origin stays where it was. That looks good. Okay, I think I'll leave that there. So let's just move this back to where it goes, which is going to be GY. Something about, does that look good? That looks good. That looks good. GY. I think I want, maybe we'll have that smaller light kind of sunk it in. That looks pretty sweet if you ask me. Still looking good in the back. Okay, wow, that's a car. If that's not a car now, then I don't know what is. That's sweet. We will leave it at that. Let's add some materials to it real quick though. And first, before we do that, let's go ahead and apply all these modifiers. And click, 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 Control J. Now we have one large object, which I can shade smooth. And then I can turn on auto smooth, which is right here. Fun fact, the other one thing I have in my quick favorites hotkey menu, which is just press Q, is the auto smooth feature, because it's another thing I use a lot, and it's just too many darn clicks to find this little green triangle, to press this little other triangle, and then press this other triangle, and then press this to make a check mark, which is triangle shaped. I don't know why I got on a triangle tangent there, but I don't like all that stuff. So the auto smooth just basically tells Blender to make angles greater than 30 degrees sharp. So if we drag this down, it would make angles greater than 0 sharp, which is like everything. So I want that at just basically until that tire doesn't look like that. So I want that tire to be round. So that's looking good. And it is going to round that because that's a slight angle, which I'm fine with. I'm cool with that. Okay, so we're looking good. Now would be a good time to press Control S and save your file, which I haven't done because I've done this so many times. I'm not worried about it. I'm happy making cars all day long. But yeah, Control S, save. Yeah, I probably should actually save. Let's press Control S. Don't look at that stuff. Those are secret projects. Go to the Dirk tutorial folder. Ooh, yeah. Oh, there's where we're going. Look at all that cool stuff. Let's save this as actual tutorial, which if we go with this recording, you can see here, I haven't actually done it before. This is the first recording, and I'm feeling good about it. Got some good jokes in there, right? Do you guys like this? Who am I asking? If this is the one you're watching, this is the one you're watching. But anyways, looking good. Liking that. Let's go ahead and add some materials. First material I'll add is going to be called car. And that's going to be the, it's going to be the car. It's going to be the paint of the car. That's what I'm looking for. So let's go into our viewport shading mode there. And that'll just give us a preview. So this is all just kind of white now, which is fine. Maybe you want your car to be white. I think for, at least for this portion of the tutorial, I'm going to make it like a that color, sort of a Dirk-ish red. And yeah, I like that. It's good. Now I will maybe make it shiny. So we'll bring the roughness down a little bit. Something like a 0.1. Nice and shiny. And then let's start adding some more materials. So I will add a new material called car window. And that's going to be the wheels. Just kidding. It's going to be the window. Looking good. Bring the saturation down a little bit. Something like that color is going to look sweet. Now let's tab into edit mode, and to apply that to the window, let's select all those windows. Got them all. And press assign. That's looking good. We got windows now. Now for the windows, you could make them, this is an EV viewport here, so you could turn on alpha. You could do no shadow, and you could do alpha blend, and then you could make them kind of see-through, which I kind of like that. Let's turn the roughness down so they're shiny. And then, yeah, okay, so they're shiny, right? Are we getting shine there? Yeah, we are getting shine. Glimmer and shine makes this car mine. Dumb. Okay, you could change the alpha here to make them more transparent. Oh, the transmission. I think that's what we'd want to turn up. So that's kind of cool. You know, play with these materials. We're not going to really dive into too many details about how this all works, but that's what that does. Yeah, transmission makes it transmit light. Then you can bring the alpha down. But then you'd see the inside of your car, and I'm just gonna be done with that. Derek done. Derek is done. Derek is done talking about that. All right, let's make a new material. I'm gonna make it car metal. Metal, which if you want to make it look really cool, you could follow my extremely unpopular 3-part, very time-consuming series called Making Metal Materials in Blender, which no one watched. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
What's up, metalheads? Grab that guitar and let's hit the stage, because in this tutorial we're going to be making metal materials.
Ooh, should have applied this before I applied my mirror modifier. Oh, shoot. All right, so we're going to, dang it. Now we got to select all this stuff. stuff. There's probably some options I could use. Okay, actually, I'm going to select face, 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 and then I'm going to hit Control plus, 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 plus. And I'm going to assign the metal material right there. Okay, so that worked. We will obviously need a tire material, but before we do that, let's select these. I'm pressing L here to grab those because they're separate mesh islands. Let's assign that. Got our little grill in there. Maybe we make this a little bit shinier too. Something like that. Yeah, that's looking good. Now I'm not liking these. Supposed to be just doing materials now, Derek. Not messing with the car anymore. I'm gonna make this a little smaller just because it's disturbing me. So I can press period on my number pad in edit mode. Remember, in object mode, or maybe that's number pad period. Maybe it was number pad period that goes to frame selected. Anyways, I'm all about the button 4 mouse. I want to scale these in, but if I do that, it's going to bring them all towards each other. So I need to scale based on individual origins, which will take kind of the individual like centers. So I'm going to press period and then go by individual origins. And now when I scale it, they'll all go in just like that. There. I don't know why. That was a very small detail, but I like it better and I feel better now. So yeah. Now for these, let's press Alt and left click kind of on an edge. Selecting edge loops kind of takes a little bit of practice. Ooh, I'm going to snipe this guy right there. Watch. Oh, gotcha. And assign the metal material there, just so that those are metal. Probably should have got these other rings too. Should have done this all when the mirror modifier was still on. Now I'm screwing myself up. All right, so those are metal too. Maybe we make these rings here metal. Assign. What else could we make metal? Oh yeah, I think it would be cool to get these metal. Maybe like these inner parts here. Again, skip all these details if you want to. Here I am talking about how it's like the car is a very small part of this animation. And I'm just like going nuts here on the details. Let's get these edge loops and press assign. Okay. Looking cool. I like that. I got some metal details. Now let's go ahead and get the tire in. New car tire. Now I'm adding car before all these because once I start, working with this as part of kind of a larger scene here, I never want to use quite completely black. Once I start using this as part of a larger scene, there's going to be a lot of other materials, and I just want the car materials to all just be in their own little place, so I don't have to, fiddle around finding them. So made that an almost black. Let's turn the roughness up and let's select. Gosh, this is going to be, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Press L, and then I don't want to assign it to those parts. So now I can select the metal and then deselect. Then I can select the car tire and press assign. So now that's working. Now my metal, I want it to be a little bit lighter colored. That's looking much better. We got a pretty sweet car coming along. Let's add some, oh, you know what else needs to be metal? The bumper. Assign. Okay. Cool. Digging it. Liking it a lot. Maybe the bottom gets this too. Which fun little selection thing here. Select one of those, Shift G, and select similar coplanar. That will select things on the same plane, which this is pretty darn close, but it didn't get it because you have this threshold option, which is, oh gosh, coplanar. Did it get? I almost got some at the top there. Anyways, I think that's just getting what I want. So I can, you're not really gonna see the bottom of the car, but just in case you did, we got a nice little black undercarriage there. So headlights. Let's talk about headlights. Let's add them. Car headlights. Let's make this a emissive material. Just clicking over here. You could do this all in the shader editor, but you can do a lot of stuff with the materials right there. You can actually do everything right there, but it's makes it a little difficult. Let's press Control plus and let's assign the car headlights material. Now to really see these glow, let's turn on bloom, tab out of edit mode, and let's go back to that material and turn the strength up. Boom. Now we are blasting with some light. Looking pretty sweet. Let's give the taillights their own little glow as well. So I want to add a new material, and I will make it the car headlights again, but then I'll press this button right here, new, and we'll name that car. Oh God, come on. I knew I should just delete the whole thing and retype it. I'm trying to save myself time. Tail lights. And then let's go ahead and, so we got that, Control plus. Make sure I don't got anything over there selected still. And change this, assign. And then let's make the car tail lights red, as if we were ever going to be slowing down on this crazy fast path. Okay, guys and girls and all folks who watch Dirk tutorials, we're happy to have you. We got a car, and I think we're going to leave it at that. Add as many details as you want, add some textures, put a big sticker on it. You know I am. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next part where we are going to make this guy zip around a track like he's having a blast. But his wheels won't actually turn because we added them all in one object in object mode. If your friends ask, why are the wheels turning? You just go into crazy detail about object mode, edit mode, and it's hard to rig a car. And okay, this part of the tutorial is over. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next part. Like and subscribe. That'd be a good idea. All right, see you there. Alrighty, so now that I've kind of decided that this is just going to be its own tutorial modeling this car, I figured I'd throw in a little bit of bonus content where I'm pretty much just going to, I will provide commentary as I do this, and I thought about doing it as a time lapse, but I'm just going to kind of work with this model a little bit more and just give it some more details, just because, now this is just a, it's not just a, or now it is just a car modeling tutorial. I figured, hey, let's just go ahead and use some of that time that would have gone towards animating and yeah, just kind of spice up our model a little bit, fix some things. I think I will go ahead and turn on maybe, at least for a moment, I'm going to turn on a mirror modifier because I'm going to be making some changes here. So now we got our beautiful half car. Let's add a mirror modifier. And the whole car is back together once again. So I wanted to fix, I'm going to hide these L, H to hide them. And then I just want to kind of pull these over. So let's see, what would the best way to do that be? Let's just GX and then GX. That was one detail that was just kind of bugging me. By the way, I'm recording this the next day, so I had nightmares about it. No, I'm just kidding. But this would be one of the things, which again, extremely small detail. Oh, that's cool. So I don't use the hide feature that I just use very much, but I guess when you go in and out of edit mode, it rehides and unhides things. So that's cool. One thing I did on my animation that I failed to do in this, at least yet, was do a little door handle. So I'm going to do that. Let's SZ, to flatten it out. Oops. RY. I'm just going crazy here, moving this thing around. Let's go ahead and apply our metal material to that, just so that I can see it a little bit better. And then let's just kind of slide that over. Something like that. Maybe we'll give it just a little bit of a roundedness, if you will. And let's select that face and just give it some thickness, and then just maybe move it out just a little bit. Okay. So modeling wise, I don't think there was much else I wanted to do. I might we'll go ahead and add a bumper here. I think like we did on the back. Shift D, and then I'll just bring that out on the y-axis a little bit. Could probably go ahead and turn on clipping here so that we don't get that intersecting effect. You can see with clipping on it, that'll stay all nicely together. So I'm gonna just extrude this, and let's bring that on the y-axis, just in a little bit like that. And we can maybe do we want that angle? I don't think so. Let's SX0 to flatten that, and then GX to just kind of bring that out. So we've got a little bit of a bumper on the front as well. So let's select that with L and assign the material there. Okay, so now we got a little bit of a front bumper. Another idea I had was we could maybe add in a little tailpipe here. So I'm going to snap my cursor to selected, and then I'll add in just a little circle here, and this one can have maybe just like 12 vertices. And I think I need to turn off clipping. You'll see it before, if we try to move this, it's going to like stick together. I don't want that, so I'm going to turn off clipping. Let's RX90. Oops, RX90. Okay, let's try that again. RX90. There we go. Don't know why that wasn't working. May have had something to do with sometimes if you're in like face mode and you're selecting something with no faces, you can get some weird behavior, which could be what happened right there. So let's just let's maybe extrude this out on the y-axis, and then just bring this in. Where should those come from? I mean, maybe from like the bottom here. That might be kind of cool. And then maybe I would like select that, make sure I got it all, and then you can just kind of like make that go up a little bit so it looks like it's kind of coming out. And then maybe this bumper, let's oops, and I think I had not had clipping on there. Oopsie, let's make sure. Okay, that's all locked up. So I was going to maybe move this up a little bit just so that those tailpipes can come out. And then I will also, let's extrude this in a little bit, and then just extrude that back on the y-axis a little, just to give that a little bit of thickness. And then I'll press L to select that whole island, assign the metal material. That's looking cool. Maybe we want to double it up, or let's at least bring this in a little bit, and then Shift D, X. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty sweet. Okay, I like that. The spoiler shape is another thing I wasn't totally loving. So maybe we just bring, let's just grab that face, I think, and bring that in on the x-axis. Yeah, just to give ourselves kind of a little bit of a curve there. I think that looks good. And then maybe we should bring the whole thing down a little bit. Again, this we're not really going to do much new here. This is just kind of me talking out loud. A lot of times, when I'm doing a tutorial, I want to cover the bases really quickly just to make the tutorial not too long. But anytime I'm posting like a final animation or work, I'm usually doing a lot of this type of stuff, which is very small, just adjustments, and they're kind of boring to watch. Hopefully you're finding some entertainment with it, but it's really just it's kind of those little things that you need to do to create something that's just a little bit more polished than you might normally do. Now I'm going to try to make a, no, I don't want to do that. I want to make a little license plate thing here. Let's, oops. Let's snap our, I keep pressing Shift D, Shift S is what I want, cursor to selected. And then let's add in a little bit of a license plate. I'm going to apply the mirror modifier. And then I'm going to add in I guess we could go ahead and use, let's just do a plane, and then RX90. Scale that down and scale it out a little bit. Maybe GZ. And then I'm going to just bring this out, and then let's make it a little bit bigger than we want, SZ, and then I'm going to press I to inset. And then I think what I'll do is grab that and bring it out just a little bit. Okay. And then with that, I will assign the metal material there. Assign. Just so we've kind of got like a cool little license plate thing. And maybe we could bring this in. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do, but that's kind of working. GY. Just kind of want to bring it in like that. Maybe we'll scale it down a tad, which realistically I think the license plate would be down here, but just to give the back a little bit of interest, we'll just kind of put it right there. So added some tailpipes, played with the spoiler just a little bit. Maybe I want to make these like a little bit thinner. S, X. Well, you know what? I'm probably still on individual origins. Yes, I am. SX. A little taper there. Looking cool. Liking that. I don't think there's much else here. One thing though I definitely wanted to show you guys is how to add some textures here. So usually I will tell people to just go and watch the box tutorial. But in this case, why not just show you how to do it right here in the tutorial? So I'm going to load in an image texture that I've used on a previous project. I might actually use the one from the box tutorial. I think I will, just because that's got like a assortment of random Dirk stuff on it. So I'm going to change this to a shader editor. And then press Control T to add a texture. Ooh, black's kind of cool. That actually looks really nice, that black compared to the red. And let's just, while we're in edit mode, let's Alt H to unhide those things, just in case we confuse ourselves a little bit later with that. Okay, so I wanted to add, let's open up an image texture, and I will use the, let's go up here, and let's find the box tutorial file. You'll see a bunch of incomplete tutorials in there. Textures. Okay, so yeah, this was the sheet I used. Sticker sheet 2. We'll use, yeah, we can use that one. That 22 will actually be kind of cool. So let's just select the car material here. And then I'm going to open up a new window, and let's make this one a UV editor. And then I'm just going to, let's just use Smart UV Project for now. Okay. And that's going to do all that. And I'm just going to move it to a white area here. And now, okay, so on the side of the car, like this panel right here, I will make let's actually do both of those. So let's U and unwrap. And then let's take those panels. I'm just going to take one of them here. So it looks like that's the left side panel, and move it over to the 22. Something like that. And I'm just going to make it so it fills that whole thing pretty big. And actually, this will be good. So we didn't add any detail to indicate like a door, but maybe having the texture kind of go off the edge there a little bit will sort of give us that implication that there's a seam there. It'll just kind of look cool. Kind of cool. I don't know if I like that. Let's maybe do it over here. Something like that. I still want it to clearly read as a 22. If you make it too close to the edge, it'll look like you messed up. But if you overlap it enough, it'll look intentional, which is what I'm going for. Okay, so let's do the same thing on this side. I got that one selected. Okay, and then I just need to scale this down. I'll select everything so I can see where that other UV is. And then I'm just I know it's this box right here, so I'm just gonna kind of line it up so I know they're about the same. Put that one like that, and then rotate it, and then let's maybe, R. Let's maybe bring that one forward as well, something like that. Cool, I like that. And then license plate on the back, we can obviously make, say, Dirk. What else would you do? Let's rotate that. Move that -1. I think that's pretty cool looking, right? Maybe just move that kind of into place there. And again, you could obviously make a custom texture. Oh gosh, my poor little puppy woke up. I got a new puppy, and she doesn't like me recording tutorials. But my fiance Caitlin sounds like she just scooped her. Okay, so got a couple little textures on there. Next thing, maybe we'll do like a Dirk on the hood here. So let's just go to the top view, U, project from view, find where that is, move it down, and just kind of scale it up. So we got a nice Dirk there. Maybe kind of move that down. I think that looks pretty sweet. Yeah, that looks good. And then what else could we do? We could do a Dirk.com, maybe on the maybe kind of on the spoiler, or maybe the top of the car. Let's do it on the spoiler. So let's select this. Maybe just this whole face. Well, yeah, let's select the whole thing. I don't think we'll use the whole thing though. U, project from view. You project from view. And let's put the dirk.com. Yeah, we'll just do it real big, kind of oversized. That might look nice. And maybe we could spin it around the other way. Okay. So that's pretty cool. If I wanted to get my colors back, I could color this texture, because right now the white is just coming from the white of that texture. But the way I think I'll do it, and I may just leave it white, because honestly I like that a lot. But what I might do here is add a converter color ramp into here, and then I will just pick the, so the white area I want to be kind of a similar red to what I had, and then the black I want to be a white material. Yeah, okay, I do like that. I think I'll leave that. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do here. We've got the bumper. We've got the spoiler. We could put like a little antenna on it or something. I don't think I want to do that. I think we'll leave it at that. So yeah, this was just a little bonus part of the tutorial once I decided it was going to be just about modeling the car. Figured I'd throw in a little extra tidbit so you guys could kind of see those last little final steps I do. You know, maybe you didn't watch this part, but hopefully you did. Hopefully you got something out of it. And by the way, I've mentioned this before in other tutorials, but sometimes you need to reshade smooth when you're adding new geometry. Okay, so I think that's about it. Maybe what I'll do is, I was going to add another tail light there, but I think it looks cool. It's just the one. And I like the double up there. We could add like a light bar on top. Like those, I'll go and call them jerks on the road that have huge light bars that turn them on when they're right behind you. Yeah, don't do that. If you do that, got no shame in saying that I'm disappointed. Maybe we can add a bevel here. We don't want this. We're trying to keep the style here. We don't want this to be too detailed. You guys probably thought I was wrapping up, and then here I am doing more stuff. Okay, so the front, that's just a little detail on the back I think I like. Which that probably means, you know what, this will actually probably look cool. Make it a little bit like a rally car or something. I feel like move that out like that. Is that cool? I kind of like that. Maybe we can, should bevel that edge a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks good. I'll probably end up posting like, since this is going to be its own tutorial, I'll probably make some posts with just the car. So now that I know I'm going to be seeing it a little bit closer, you know, want to add some of those details. So that's about it, I think, as you see me looking very hard for something else to do. Oh, we could put a little steering wheel on there. Nah, let's not do that. I think I'll leave it at that. Anything else I do will be, of course, available to the patrons who will get this exact file. But I think I will leave it here. So fear not, you're not going to be missing too much if you see some changes when it gets to the animation project. But hope you guys enjoyed. Guys, girls, whoever's watching, thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.